All right, today we're taking a journey, a really deep one, into the spiritual heart of India. We're talking about a world that revolves around Lord Shiva, the cosmic ascetic, this incredible source of divine energy. We're going to explore these amazing pilgrimages from the highest mountain peaks all the way to ancient coastlines that people take just to connect with that energy.
And this quote, it just nails it, right? This isn't about sightseeing. It's not about snapping a few photos. It's a transformative exploration. The whole point of these journeys is that they're designed to fundamentally change you, to plunge you right into the very core of these ancient traditions.
So, there is a specific word for this kind of sacred journey, and it's yatra. And you gotta understand, this is so much more than just a trip. A yatra is a focused spiritual quest. You go with a real purpose to, cleanse that karmic baggage, to fix these spiritual or even astrological imbalances they call doshas, and really just to find some clarity, to find some peace. So, what makes millions of people do this? I mean, these journeys can be really difficult. Well, it's looked at as answering a kind of spiritual call. It's this deep, deep need for connection, for cleansing, and for having a real, direct experience of the divine.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics because finding a connection with Shiva isn't like following a single highway. Oh no, it's more like a massive, sprawling network of super diverse temples and journeys. Each one is its own unique doorway to the divine, taking you everywhere from the highest, most remote mountains to these mind-blowing man-made structures. So let's start way up high, in the Himalayas. This is a place where the landscape itself, the geography, is a huge part of the spiritual experience. I mean, think about it. You're up there in the silence at these crazy high altitudes. The physical struggle of the journey is completely tied up with the spiritual quest. That thin air, those massive peaks, it creates an atmosphere you just won't find anywhere else on the planet.
And what's really fascinating is that even within the Himalayas, the journeys can be completely different, with totally different meanings. So, for example, you could go to Tungnath. That's the world's highest Shiva temple. The journey there is this beautiful, peaceful trek through forests, and it leads to the spot where Shiva's arms are said to have appeared. But then you've got the path to Kedarnath. That's a whole other beast, a tough, high-altitude trek to the place where his hump appeared when he was in the form of a bull. So you see, two totally different journeys, two different symbols, all in the same mountain range. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. We're going from the raw, natural divinity of the Himalayas, and we're heading south. Now we're going to see how that same devotion is expressed in these absolutely breathtaking man-made marvels. And believe me, these aren't just buildings. They are masterpieces of engineering, of art. Every single stone is carved with a deep sense of purpose.
And this slide just shows you the level of genius we're talking about. On one side, you've got the Ramanathaswamy temple. It practically invites you in to walk through its massive corridor, which, by the way, is the longest in the world, with more than 1,200 carved pillars. Then you look at the Brihadeeswara temple. This thing just soars towards the sky with a tower engineered so perfectly it supposedly doesn't cast a shadow at noon. I mean, wow. Two totally different feats of architecture, but both are just these profound expressions of faith.
But here's the thing. Just arriving at these incredible places, that's really only half the story. The real power of the yatra, what really unlocks everything, is found in the specific rituals you perform once you're there. You could say the journey gets you to the door, but it's the rituals that give you the key. And that brings us to a really important question. We've talked about the where and the what, but what's the deeper why? What's really going on with these ancient, super powerful rituals? What's the point? Well, to really get the why, we have to talk about this concept called dosha. In Vedic belief, a dosha is kind of like a flaw, an affliction in your personal karmic or astrological blueprint. It's something that can show up as roadblocks in your life. And the belief is that you can actually fix or heal these things through very specific spiritual practices. And you guessed it, pilgrimages just like these. And some of these rituals, wow, they are just incredibly profound. Let's zoom in on one of the most famous and probably one of the most unique, the Bhasma Arti. This takes place at the Mahakaleshwar temple, a place where Shiva isn't just Shiva, he's Mahakal, the supreme lord of time itself. Now, this is so much more than just a prayer service. It's this deep, symbolic ceremony. For starters, it happens in the dark, just before dawn, marking a brand new cycle. They use sacred ash, bhasma, to anoint the lingam, and that ash symbolizes purity and being detached from all the material stuff. The whole thing is this powerful reminder that life and our bodies are temporary. It's believed that this ritual can literally help destroy the ego and free you from all those worldly attachments. And here's the crucial thing to understand. These rituals can be highly specific. They're not just general good vibe ceremonies. They're performed to tackle a whole range of doshas. Everything from ancestral issues, that's Pitru dosha, to really complex astrological problems like Kal Sarp dosha, or even just imbalances from where the planets are. It's like a very, very targeted form of spiritual healing. So, that brings us to the end of the yatra. After that long, hard journey and these intense rituals, what's the reward? What does the pilgrim get out of it? Well, it's not really seen as an ending at all. It's seen as a profound new beginning. The kinds of blessings people look for and the kinds they say they receive are deeply personal. It's all about transformation. People do this to finally get rid of those karmic doshas we've been talking about, to tap into a new level of inner strength and clarity, to feel like they have divine protection, and at the end of the day, to find a real, lasting peace that helps them evolve spiritually.
And it's amazing to think that the few temples we've just touched on, they're just part of a much bigger, ancient network. The most sacred of these shrines are called Jyotirlingas, which means pillars of light. There are 12 of them, and they basically form this spiritual grid that crisscrosses all of India. Each one is like a powerful beacon of divine energy. So I guess we'll end with a question for you to think about. We've been exploring these really ancient traditions, these intense physical and spiritual journeys. And it kind of makes you wonder, right? In our crazy, fast-paced modern world, what is the idea of a pilgrimage, a journey that you take for a deep, transformative reason? What does that really mean to you? What's a journey that would be worth taking for you? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this one.